What's going on, guys, gals, and everything in between? You are on the sidelines with the sideline guys. I am Chris.
I'm Derrick.
Welcome back. I just
Yes,
gotta say, off the top, what a month to be a
yes.
Celtics fan. We got a lot to talk about, man. But I think we'll start on the lighter sides of things. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumors about KD trades lately, and I
Yeah,
think it's only right that I ask our resident Celtics fan how he feels about these rumors. So, I think the biggest teams that are in conversations are the Celtics, the Suns, and the Heat, if I'm hearing that correctly.
I think the
So,
Raptors too.
ooh, that's a nice little dark horse there in the background.
Yeah, if I'm not
But I
mistaken.
think the Celtics are the favorite as far as who they assume, according to Vegas, where
Hmm.
KD will be next season. So, just
Yeah,
curious about your thoughts on a potential package and how you feel about that move in general.
yeah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
It's not happening.
It's not
Derek is
happening.
shutting it down.
Yeah, we're not doing it. Like, here's the thing. I don't understand. Like, one, whatever Brooklyn wants from Boston, they're not going to get. All right, because it's going to center around Jalen Brown and Marcus Smart. Those two players, I'm so convinced they're not getting traded. Like it doesn't make any sense. You don't go to the finals for the first time with this core, lose in what we lost in six. Was that 6 games?
Mhm.
So you lose in six, and then what? Now you want to blow it up to get KD? That's not happening. Secondly, I don't see Brooklyn actually trading him to any Eastern team.
Hmm.
If he's getting traded, he's definitely going to the Western Conference.
I could see why you say that, but I feel like they don't have that luxury at this point of the game. I feel like
Yeah,
the clock is ticking towards the start of the season, and
well, yeah,
he's made it clear that he's out and he doesn't want to be. I mean, and the ownership doubled down as well. So
yeah.
the another rumor that came out was that KD was saying either it's Nash and the GM or me,
Mm-hmm.
and they doubled down and say, yeah, this is our team moving forward, and these are the people that are our leadership group, and we're keeping it that way. So
Yeah.
um, I my question is now this is a little I'm gonna take a step back after we discuss the specifics of a Celtics trade. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think it's as far away as you would think. Just given if you're a GM, I'm not saying it's the right move to do, but if you're a
Mm-hmm.
GM and you think, hey, we got Brogdon, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are pieces in place that we have. How would they not look at KD as a potential upgrade at the three, move Tatum to the two, and now you got a perfect situation there. Now, of course, I understand the more gritty, balanced side of things when it comes to losing Marcus Smart in that exchange,
Mm-hmm.
but if we talking 2K here, I feel like that kind of works out.
Yeah, if you're talking about 2K, I mean, because think about it, Brogdon's had I believe he's had some nice injuries over the last couple of years as well. Um, if you get rid of Marcus Smart, you're banking on him staying healthy the entire season or a majority of the season. Um, and then you got Derrick White there as well. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. I don't. I mean, if you could get KD for someone that wouldn't cost you your core, that would make a little more sense. But when you're talking about Tatum, Brown, Smart, and Horford, I don't see any of those guys being traded.
It
Now,
has to be one though, right? Like you would have to have in
well,
order for the trade to work.
I think in terms of money for sure, but I just don't see it happening. Now, here's another thing. This is actually a thought that I don't think a lot of people have actually talked about, which this is never happening. But hypothetically, what if you did decide to trade Tatum for KD? You're not losing your depth at that point. That would make a little more sense, right?
Mhm.
But they're not trading those four. Like those guys are not being traded. Williams, Robert Williams, not being traded. So Brooklyn, we've discussed this before. Brooklyn missed their window already to win a championship with this team, and that was when they decided to go for James Harden. Their team right there. You already had Ime Udoka on staff as well, behind Kenny Atkinson, right? So like you had these people in place on the coaching staff and on your roster that would have made a push for a championship and made done a very great job at doing it. They're just not going to get anything with from for KD this season. KD is not leaving Brooklyn. I don't I don't see him being traded. And what was he going
Man,
to sit out? KD's not
it's
sitting out.
probably
KD's not
yeah.
sitting out, bro.
With the way with how public
He ain't
these
sitting out.
negotiations have been,
He
eh,
ain't sitting out.
would you play him? I wouldn't.
I would.
I wouldn't.
You double, bro. Look, you double down.
Why are you trying to be good?
You double down. You double down.
Hmm.
If you already made all these moves to make KD happy, right? And they didn't pan out. Just go for it. Like, what do you have to lose at this point? What do you have to lose at this point? KD's under contract for I think 4 more years, 3 or 4 more years. Kyrie, I believe, is
Until
2
next season, I think. Yeah.
this next season. Okay, and then Ben Simmons, I think, is what 2 or 3.
Mhm.
What do you have to lose? It's not going to work. But what do you have to lose? I'm
I
not.
mean,
You're not losing any more draft picks. You shouldn't do that because they've already the draft picks that they gave up to get Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett were Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. So they lost that. You see what I'm saying? They lost that already. So the next opportunity they had in order to make this team what it was is having KD, Kyrie, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie. Those guys, I think we discussed this. Those guys would not have been facing the Celtics in the first round.
yep, for sure.
Come on.
It's a crazy situation though. Like the way I feel about it is like you kind of can't. Like you kind of have to do a going out of business sale here, right? Like you have to, because
Yeah,
if
which
you play these guys, both
mm-hmm,
of them, you're gonna end up in the playoffs, and
mm-hmm,
that's the last thing you want when you know that both of these guys don't want to play here,
mm-hmm,
and throughout the entire season, that's gonna be the talk. Where they're gonna get traded to,
mm-hmm.
every game that they play well, this raises their stock. Like that's going to be the storyline throughout the entire season.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know if I'm the GM, I'm selling them quick and low.
that's what I was about to say. The asking price is too high. That's why they're not going anywhere. Because if you're asking for a young superstar in return with picks, like all this stuff, you're not going to get anybody for KD. You're not going to
Dude,
get
I think
anybody
you
for Kyrie.
underestimate GM's willingness to make stupid moves. And I know that it's hard for you to see it with your own team, so I get it. But you can't tell me there's not going to be a team that bites and does some crazy shit to
Oh,
get
I
KD
think no.
before first quarter of the season's over.
I
Like I will
think
put my money on
I
that.
think a team would do it. It's would Brooklyn go for it? That's the thing. Their asking price is just too high. So if they bring that asking price down, then it's not hard to see someone go ahead and trade for KD. Um, Miami, of course, I think could be a spot. Um, but like I said, I really do believe this. If someone does trade for him, it's going to end up being a Western Conference team. I don't see Brooklyn wanting to trade KD and then face KD 3 or 4 times in a year, and then possibly
I
get
mean, they
knocked out
did
in
it
the
with Harden.
playoffs. But then get knocked out in the
Harden's
playoffs
not
too.
KD, but
Yeah,
hmm
but you can also get knocked out in the playoffs too doing that. So
yeah,
like that I don't see. I can't see that taking place. So I would assume it's going to be a Western Conference team and one with draft capital. Um, like I told you before, OKC slick makes sense to me.
yep. The assets are there for sure.
They have the picks right there, right? They have the talent right there that they could bring him back. To me, it would make sense. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. But it
Another
makes
sleeper team
sense.
that makes sense too is the Wizards. I mean, just given his family history and all that, why not, right?
Why not? But I think he already said he doesn't want to play home because
Really?
because of pressure. And this was back when he was like talking to Golden State when he was
Hmm,
leaving OKC to go to Golden State. Um,
got you.
but yeah, he said that I think someone asked him about possibly going there. He said he didn't want to play there because of his being home and that pressure. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see him being traded to an Eastern Conference team at all. And I honestly don't know that I really see him being traded this season.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly think it's gonna happen. I don't know. I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. And
Yeah,
I think, with all due respect, the Celtics are a favorite for a reason. And
for
they're
sure.
one of the teams that's aggressively engaging in these talks.
I don't. They're
So,
not as aggressive as people think they are. I think there was a preliminary discussion that took place, and when they were told that it would take Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart to get KD, it was like, all right. Brad Stevens just like whatever, hung up the phone. I don't see it being that they were dangling. If they were actually dangling Jaylen Brown and Smart, Brooklyn would have taken that.
already.
Yeah, that would have happened already. So I don't see that being something that was Boston's offer. I think it was a discussion that took place that they said no, we're good. And which when those reports came out, that had happened a month prior to that being released. I think that was more like a slow media day type of thing. You know, it's a summertime, and there's not like the NBA level drama going on in other sports outside of Brittany Griner being detained in Russia. So I don't know how anybody really bought bit on that one like that, but that it just doesn't make any sense. Not when you just lost in the finals after your first trip going back. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make sense.
I get where you're coming from totally, but man, there's a report as recent as 2 days ago
Mm-hmm.
that these talks are still going on. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think if you're a team in the NBA and you get the call, you have to answer, right?
You
Like
answer the call.
this
Yeah.
is transcendent talent. Let's
Yeah.
make that very clear. But I agree. This the asking price is very high. Maybe a interesting 3-team deal or something. But I think he gets traded before 20 games into the season, in my opinion.
Over under Kyrie or KD go first at that 20
Hmm.
game mark.
I would say KD
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think Kyrie has been outspoken in the way that KD has. I think he kind of is just willing to do whatever. If KD's willing to stay, then we'll stay, and if not, get me out of here too. Like I think that's how it is. So I don't know.
Yeah, Ben Simmons is
But
just
if you're a
sitting in a
GM, this is my last questions on this.
yeah.
Just sad boys, just in that lambskin suit. Just um, my question is, if you're a GM, right? You listen. They clean house with all the guys at the Nets after everything they've been saying. They hire you and I right now.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing with this scenario?
First getting a new coach. You gotta get someone that actually can coach. Like no disrespect to Steve Nash, but he's not a coach. Like he doesn't do well as a coach. And honestly, he should have been. I thought it was very premature that they hired him like that. You should have gone for Ime Udoka. That was their next mistake. So you go out try and get a coach, like an actual coach that can transform this team. And then you try to, well, it would be us. We would try to go and get some other players for better deals. And I'm looking to see what I can get for Kyrie first before KD.
I agree. I don't understand the defending your leadership thing when at the end of the day, like you already created this shithole for
Yeah,
yourself. Like
yeah,
you have to ride with the ship until it goes
yeah,
down at this point.
yeah,
So give your star what he needs and figure it out.
yeah.
Because would you rather trade the transcendent talent and put yourself back at the bottom, or deal with some shit up front, have to fire a guy and hire someone else? Like that seems like a way easier option.
It's much easier. Less headache. Go ahead. Fire Steve Nash. Is Kenny Atkinson still? Is he still in Charlotte?
There's no way they running that back, but I feel
I
you.
mean, if that's who KD said he wanted to come to Brooklyn for.
That's true.
with Kenny Atkinson and with Karis LeVert. You're not gonna go get Karis LeVert back right now. So try and see what you can get Kenny Atkinson back on the team and see what happens. I'm trading Kyrie though. Kyrie is so unpredictable. KD,
Regardless of if KD's
yeah,
staying.
yeah.
Random side note, and then we'll move on from this. I saw a trade talk, which was hilarious. That was like, if the as a Lakers fan, that
Oh my
if
god.
listen to this, that if they straight up traded no picks, no nothing, Kyrie for Westbrook, that the Lakers lose that trade.
I think both teams lose that trade. I think both teams lose that trade because you put in Kyrie in LA with LeBron, right? I guarantee at some point there's going to be some stuff come out during that whole thing, and then you put in Westbrook back with KD.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Not enough sage. There's not enough sage in LA to make this work. There's no way.
Both teams lose that trade, man. Just stay where you are. Unless you could trade KD to Portland, that's another one.
Ooh, yep.
That's another team.
Who would they give up though? Like who would they want?
Who would Portland?
Jeremy Grant.
Bro, at this point I don't even know who's on the roster outside of Dame Lillard. I mean, they've changed that team up so much in this last couple of months. I want to say Joe Ingles is
Malik
there.
Coffee, the guy we was
talking
about.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. That threw me for a loop, man.
That was so fun.
Oh my god, yeah. But yeah.
But on a more somber note, it's only right that we show our respect to Bill Russell, the legend, the Celtics legend. I'll let you take the floor on this one. Obviously, this one probably hit home much harder for you than me, but it's just as a basketball fan, and more importantly, as an American historian, you should be very saddened, obviously, by anyone's passing. But Bill Russell is a historic figure, gets nowhere near enough credit than he deserves for all the barriers that he's broken down throughout his lifetime. So, RIP to Bill Russell.
Most definitely. I mean, there's multiple ways you could talk about him too. Like, if you want to talk about him on the basketball level, you can discuss how he transformed basketball. Starting playing defense. Like, I was watching the story. I mean, this this interview he did, where he was saying with Bill Simmons, I believe, said that his NCAA coach, when he first saw Bill block a shot, pulled him to the side and said, "You can't play defense like that." So, you mean I can't block a shot? No, that's not how you play. Think about that. Think about that. No block shots in basketball. Is that not weird?
Very.
So he transformed how you play basketball on a defensive side and offensive side. But outside of that, just like you said, just a historian, major historical figure with the Civil Rights Act movement, I should say, and just in terms of just trying to get equality in general, I think he was a giant, literally and figuratively, that can't be replaced, and I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. When you talk about GOATs, Bill Russell's name does not come up nearly enough as much as it should, and I've always felt like that. It was always disrespectful because people always make the argument about rings. I'm like, well, if you want to make the ring argument, who has won 8 in a row? Who's won 11 as a player and coach?
Who's run as a player and a coach? I think only Steve Kerr is in that, and he's nowhere near the player Bill Russell.
Nowhere near it. So you can't talk about basketball without talking about Bill Russell. So yeah, much love and respect to him, and rest in peace.
You know what I need? I was conjuring this up, and I came up with this idea before he passed. So I kind of feel bad saying it, like it's almost tongue in cheek, but like we need a biopic with why am I forgetting his name now? The GOAT. Oh, I'm so terrible, man. I set this up wonderfully and I just shit the bed, man. Morgan Freeman. We need a buyout with Morgan Freeman. It's gonna be a little late, you know what I'm saying? But it'll be beautiful.
Hey, man. Beautiful. Morgan Freeman, I can't see him in another. I can't. I love the guy. I love the guy. But if we're gonna do a Bill Russell movie, we definitely need to see the younger side. We've known the older side, right? We weren't around for the younger side. I want to see I want to see him as a young man, getting into basketball and going through all this stuff with issues that he had just as a player. Like he led a walkout between Celtics players and all black Celtics players and all white black Hawks players, um, because they were refused service. I think at a hotel or something like that. So there's a lot of things that he did that doesn't get mentioned nearly enough. That I think he definitely deserves that respect, and he is and people actually Celtics fans have been disrespectful too, because I've seen a lot of people saying that Larry Bird is the goat Celtics player. He's not. It's Bill Russell. That's undoubtedly the truth. Bill Russell is the best
For
Celtics
sure.
player ever. So yeah,
I think the modern era debate is what probably sparks that, but
probably,
I get it for sure. I
probably,
get it.
yeah. But I mean, this you talk about impact. Like, I don't. I rings is actually like the last thing I bring up into a conversation. I talk about impact. I talk about the way that the player played both ends of the floor, and just at his specific position or whatever. Come on, you battle Wilt Chamberlain, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And
come
man,
on.
the biggest one is if imagine if Jordan won a ring as a coach. He could barely scratch the playoffs as a owner. So imagine if he won the playoffs, another chip as a coach like that. That'll be
Yeah,
insane. So
yeah.
yeah, give the man his respect
Most
for
definitely,
sure.
most definitely.
And R.I.P. to the
Yes,
goat.
sir.
R.I.P. But it's that time of the year. It's
Thank
only
God.
right that we get in to breaking down the wonderful world of football, man. The NFL is back in full swing. Preseason has already begun. Man, I'm so excited to jump right into our nice preview of the
Yes, sir.
AFC. But oh man, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. But I think we're gonna keep it limited to just the AFC today. Give us something to talk about next
Yes,
week
sir.
as well. So this is fun, and I like that there's still some moving pieces with some of these
Yeah.
teams too. So interesting debate to be had here. But let's start in the AFC East, and of course with the first team to mention, the Buffalo Bills. As far as noteworthy acquisitions, I think I circled a couple of these on here. Obviously, getting back Stephon Diggs is
Yeah.
huge. OJ Howard is a good sneaky
Yes.
signing. I also have Duke Johnson as a good sneaky signing in here. Didn't get a lot of respect, obviously, because he was playing in Houston, but I think he's a serviceable backup running back. Besides, this is a lot of line moves on both ends of the floor, and then of course signing Von Miller, which is big. As far as departures, they're not big on departures either. Obviously, they lost Mitch Trubisky, who's over there fighting for a starting position in the our Lord's year of 2022. I love it, just dancing on that terrible towel's grave. And then just line moves that they were able to fill back in. So I think they're in a much better position than they were last
Yeah.
season, and this is already a scary good team that you could have argued could have ended up in the I was about to say the World Series in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on this Buffalo Bills team, man? And before once we wrap it up, what's your final idea on what their win total will be?
Uh um I love the Bills, man. And I love what they've been doing this off season. I was hoping they would get to the Super Bowl last year. Because I thought if they made it there, they would have definitely won it all. I think they would have definitely won it all last year had they faced the Rams. Um, Especially with OBJ going down. I think they would have had opportunity if that had taken place in that game. But speaking of, that's actually someone that's very possible with signing there as well. So if they get Odell, man, I, it's gonna be hard for. I think the AFC is. We talked about this before, but the AFC is really stacked this year. It's really gonna be tough to crack in even with a really good record. Um, I think realistically, I gotta look at their schedule, but I think realistically, I could see them going around like 12 or 13 games. I don't think that's actually far fetched for them this year. I think they got better as long as Josh Allen does not have that mid-season skid that he seems to have been doing the last two, that was like 2 or 3 years, I think, that has been taking place. But
Mhm.
as long as that doesn't take place, I'm pretty confident they'll come out swinging and won't stop till they get to the AFC Championship or Super Bowl. And they're actually my Super Bowl prediction out of the AFC anyway, so I really do believe they could make it all the way. Yeah,
Wow, I'm excited for that because I wasn't even gonna drop that on
yeah.
you today, but I like that you showed your hand a little bit there. So are you locking in 13 or 12?
Let me lock in. Let me lock in 12 because I don't know what the schedule is like for them. Let me go 12,
Mhm.
but I think 13 wouldn't surprise me. 14 probably wouldn't even surprise me.
I agree with all of your analysis there. Really, I think the main thing for me is obviously Dolphins are interesting this
Yeah,
season,
yeah,
more so than
yeah,
usual. But I think they play in a pretty weak division, so I think that definitely helps them out. I don't know. I'm leaning towards 12-5, and my reason for that is the Josh Allen slump. I think he has MVP level talent,
yeah.
but he does not have MVP level consistency. So I think that's the main issue here.
Yeah,
And having a little bit more of a balance in the run game, I think, could help him out a lot. So I'm interested to see how their backs fare this season, um, to take some of that pressure off, because it's almost like a matter of a matter of when and not if that slump is
mm-hmm,
coming. So
mm-hmm.
getting out ahead of it and sort of scheming your way around it could
Yeah,
definitely help. But yeah, I'm gonna lock in 12-5, man. I think that's just because I know that at some point that slump is coming, and they're gonna probably lose a couple games that they shouldn't. But whenever it comes to playing noteworthy opposition, they're a team that really shows up, which
oh
always
for
makes
sure,
them fun to watch.
for sure. Yeah,
Heck yeah. So just like that, we're moving on to the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, this was a big one. I think I got this one circled because nobody talks about it, but it's the biggest one for me. Having the Teddy Bridgewater insurance, baby, a $6.5 million insurance
I forgot
policy.
about him being down there.
Yeah, man. I think that's the biggest sleeper because I could easily see
Yeah,
a scenario where Tua's just bumming it, and by week 9, Teddy's starting and actually
yeah.
doing really well. So that's a big pickup for them, in my opinion. Chase Edmonds, another
Oof,
sneaky signing
sneaky.
that not a lot of people were talking about. Man,
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how. And I know I'm jumping around here, but to see how James Conner looks as a full RB1 role, now that
yes,
Edmonds is
yes,
gone. But
yes.
man, they did their damn thing this offseason. They obviously getting Tyreek Hill in that big trade with the Chiefs. Gave up a lot of picks, man, but I think you do
Mm-hmm,
that 10 to 10 days out of 10.
mm-hmm.
And then this is hilarious. Mohamed Sanu is the last one that I have written here, just because I think he's due for a resurgence, but his time may be gone, may be past. But
I think
I
his
think
time
he's
is
due for
gone.
a
Yeah.
resurgence. Hey,
I didn't know he was even down there.
every legit every pass that he catches, I will be celebrating. That's all I got to say. As someone that,
You should.
for some
Yeah.
reason, I liked him when he was on the Bengals. For some reason, even though obviously you shouldn't really like players from rival teams,
Yeah.
but still, gotta give my shout outs where I can. But obviously, uh, I would say their main L's as far as people that they lost is literally just Philip Lindsay and
Brian Flores,
uh,
bro.
that's the biggest. Yeah, you're right. That's the biggest L right there, and
Yeah.
just disrespectful. So honestly, I kind of don't want them to do well. I kind of want them
Yeah.
to fall flat on their face. But
Yeah.
they have the talent to make an interesting run of it this season. What do you think, man? Is this going to be a shit show? Because I feel like this is in my opinion, this is one of the teams that the ceiling is so high, but the floor
Mm-hmm.
is so low. Like it
Mm-hmm.
could go either way, and I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I think they win like 9, 10 games.
Again,
I don't see them, bro. I really don't see them like because again, the AFC is just going to be so crazy this year. I I, I don't know. I think they get beat down, man. I think they get beat down in different ways this year, but I think they'll look good doing it though, which is weird to say. I think they'll look good this year, but I don't like. I think next year will be their year to like really build upon. I just really, honestly, I really wish they didn't get rid of Flores. If they still have Flores, I would feel so much better about them. I would probably even say they would win about 12, 11 or 12. But I think losing him, you got a new coach coming in. Like, that's just, you can have all the nice pieces that you want. That first year of everybody being together on, in a new system, that's going to be different. That's gonna be different. So yeah, they have all these great pieces there. I expect them to be high fantasy players. I don't expect the team in general to be as great as a lot of people think they're going to be.
I like that. I think it definitely does take some time to gel. I actually like Mike McDaniel. I'm interested to see how that
Yeah, yeah,
works
yeah,
out.
yeah.
But I think the scariest thing to think about is you've got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Like, please show me a two corner team that can easily cover those people because
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of one. I'm really excited to watch them play. Like you said, I think if Tua figures this out, like this can be a real big breakout year for him.
It could
Um,
be. Yeah.
that'll warrant the draft pick. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I agree. I feel like I'm picturing this team doing well out the gate, almost like Carolina last year, and then
Yeah.
struggling as the season goes on. So I'm gonna lock in another 9-8 year.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking? 9-8 as well?
Same thing. I just I can't see it being anything more than that.
Yeah. If they get 10 wins, that's one hell of a season. And
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
considering all the
Yeah.
turnover, like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they'll make playoffs with that. So interested to see how
Yeah.
that
They
works out.
probably
I
could.
know the Dolphins fans are probably pissed right now, but
Nah,
we got to be
they're used to
realistic
it.
on the show,
They're
okay?
used to it.
For sure, for sure.
I mean, if they have Flores though, this would be so different, man. This would just be different. They did him
Mhm.
dirty. I
Yeah,
don't like ugly, bro.
it's true. It's so true. I love
I
it.
don't
I'm
like
glad you
ugly.
said it. I'm glad you said it. But let's move on to one of the most hated teams in the NFL, the
Yes.
New England Patriots. The New
Yeah.
England Patriots. Um, when this first name I'm about to say is on your notable additions list, it's been a tough season.
Yeah.
But we re-signed Brian Hoyer to a 2-year deal, so that's a noteworthy acquisition. That's tough. They
Yeah.
got Devontae Parker, who, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, is a serviceable wide receiver, but is not a wide receiver one, and that's what he's
Mhm.
being slotted into.
Yeah.
So good luck with that. Um, who else? Yeah, that's all I really got as far as big. I mean, we got some names that are like legacy names, like Jabril Peppers, and obviously re-signing Devin McCourty's big.
Yeah.
Re-signed Nick Folk, which is all maintenance stuff. This is all good. Can't be too upset.
Mhm.
But as far as notable subtractions, ah man, Brandon Bolden was one that I have circled. N'Keal Harry, obviously this is not established players, but this was your young core, right? You trade
Yeah.
them
Yeah. Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Um, Dante Hightower is the biggest one, and then Kyle Van Noy, of course, J.C. Jackson. Both of those guys going to the Chargers.
Mhm.
So a lot of turnover on defense. I don't doubt with the Belichickian legacy that they'll be able to fill those holes somehow, some way with some new young talent. But I feel like this team takes a step back from a year where I think they overperformed. So what are
Yeah.
you thinking?
I think the same thing. They also went and got Malcolm Butler back from Tennessee. Um,
Nice.
which is cool. I don't know that he's gonna make as big of an impact as a lot of people, uh, you know, as a lot of Patriots fans were making a big deal of when they signed him. But they're also having a lot of offensive line issues in camp. So to me, I think that's a telling thing already. I I think it leads right into what you're talking about. They could take a step back this year, which would then kind of actually play into what Cam Newton was saying when he was talking about that. Oh my God, Mac. What's his name? QB in New
Mac
England.
Jones.
Mac Jones. Um,
I thought you was fucking with me for a second there
no, my
before you.
bad, bro. No, but when he was saying that, all due respect, Mac is not better than him.
Mhm.
It's just that things played out the way they did. Um,
Yep.
so I still think Cam should be playing in New England.
Hmm. And he definitely ain't getting a shot now in
He's
Carolina.
not.
So
Nah, 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 nah.
it's
That
tough.
ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. But I wouldn't be surprised if they end up having issues in Pittsburgh, that they go knock on the door.
Hmm. Why not? Yeah, I like that. I like that. So what's your final? What are we locking in for this sad New England Patriots team?
What was their record last year?
A surprising 10-7.
Okay, I'm gonna say 9-8 though.
Really, I'm gonna go. I got some. I got some balls here. I'm gonna put them on the table. I'm gonna go 7-10.
Oh,
Yep. I don't think.
oh,
I don't. I don't think the pieces they add make up for what they lost,
yeah,
especially on the defensive side of the ball. And this is not an offense first team ever since Tom Brady has left. So,
yeah, yeah. Which that's a whole other conversation.
yep. A whole. And by the way, please don't be a stickler here. I know these numbers aren't going to add up once we're done. We're just
Yeah,
giving our fucking thoughts here,
yeah,
okay?
yeah,
I
yeah,
just had to mention that.
yeah. um, but I did want to ask you about that. Tom Brady, real quick. Does Tom Brady's legacy take a hit with the news that came out about him trying to force his way to Miami while he was still in New England?
So actually, I didn't even hear about this, so I'm glad you're telling me. Um, honestly, I don't really give a shit about that. This is the 2K era. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
across all other sports, this is what happens. If he was doing that, hey, all power to you. He found himself in a better situation in Tampa anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
he
sure.
just wanted to be in Florida,
He
man. I
wanted to be in
can't.
Florida.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I got a lot of family in
Me
Florida, and
too.
I just gotta say, I'm not like keep me away from the armpit
I'm
of
not. I'm not
America.
running to
Keep me
Florida
away.
either, bro. I love my family. I love Florida itself. Like the weather when it's
Mhm.
nice, I love it down there. But I'm not moving down there.
Give me one long shot spot. If my boy Derrick has all the money in the world to retire, where are you going?
Outside of Georgia,
Hmm.
Carolinas.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
man, it's a
Motorhead
down
City.
south boy through and through. I
Yeah,
didn't know. I didn't
yeah,
know it was like that, Derrick.
yeah. Motorhead
For me, I,
City
I would
in
go to
South Carolina.
Denver. I would go to Denver for sure.
Oh,
I would go to
nice,
Colorado all
nice.
day, brother.
Yeah.
All day. I'm fat. I gotta get this elevation in. I gotta get my asthma worked out. You know what I'm saying? You do what you gotta do. But just like that, we move on to a team that is gonna be the fat brother of the AFC East, the New York Jets.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just love the Jets are indeed. I think they have passed the Giants at this point. They are the Knicks of the NFL, right? They're the team that every year they're like, you don't understand. This is the year, and it is never the year.
No,
But with the
no.
signings they
That's the
had,
Cowboys, bro.
oh, I just did the New York thing, but you're
That's
right.
the
You're
Cowboys,
right.
yeah. You think they're gonna do something, they go get an acquisition, and all of a sudden they muff it up somehow, some way, and yeah, every year is, oh, it's our year. No, it's not. Sit down.
It never will be.
It never
It
will
never will
be.
be. And I'm praying it won't. But as far as New York teams go, they
As
are
far
the
as New
Knicks
York
of the
teams, yeah, yeah,
NFL.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah,
I like that though. You caught me with that one.
it might be a tie between them and the Giants, though.
No, because the Giants fans are not that delusional.
Not
You
the
know what I'm saying?
fans, not
They've known for a
not
while.
most of the fans, but I think whenever it you know what? Never mind. You're right. Jets, Jets. I'm
I
starting to
just
think
want to
about
say
it. Yeah,
shout out,
Jets.
shout out my guy Christian. He
Yeah.
was on this very show with me before. I know this must be hard for you to hear, but we just it's only right. We
Yes,
got to we
sir.
got to shit on this team.
Yes, sir.
And I already know I'm gonna butcher his name. But it just came out that Becton
Yes, yes, yes.
has a rupture. What is it? A broken kneecap?
I think.
How does that? That sounds so painful.
Yeah. Yeah, that takes a long time to heal too.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so tough.
Yeah.
But let me read through their additions and subtractions. The biggest one, I circled this in red. The GOAT, Joe Flacco. Flacco's fingers has signed once again. That is a notable ad, I must add. Tevin Coleman is a good sneaky move, re-signing him. A lot of teams were trying to grab him up.
Yeah.
Obviously, they signed CJ Uzama, which was the big sexy move during the offseason. I like this one too, Lakin Tomlinson. I thought that was a very
Mm.
underrated move. Um, and then who else is on this list? DJ Reed was another big pickup for them. So they made some splashes on both sides of the ball, which is always fun. Obviously, got their big draft pick and juice as well. So a lot of moves on the Jets front, but just given, in my opinion, what is being asked of their young quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Why was I about? I was about to call him Zach Young, Zach Wilson. Um, and all these Cougar talks. I mean, he's down, in my opinion, set up for a tough ride this season.
Yeah.
When you consider that they lost, what am I looking at? Sorry, um, Jamison Crowder, obviously on the tail end, but still a name that you are no longer have on your team. Shaq Lawson as well to the Bills, which was big,
Mm-hmm.
and then Marcus May to the Saints. These are all guys that they did replace, but I think it's notable to mention. But yeah, the way I feel about the Nets, I'll take the lead on this one. I mean the Nets, the Jets. Um, hands down. I want to see them do good for all the people that I've seen have so much pain. But it's not happening. When your season is starting with some of your star players being injured like this,
Yeah.
and we were already asking for big step ups in order to make this work, it's tough. I think offensively they're going to be better than last season. But the only thing that kept them in games, which they barely were,
Mm-hmm.
was their defense. And losing back to Ilmekti is big. So I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna go. This one is gonna be one of the more brutal ones. Man, I'm gonna go 6-11 for the Jets.
I don't even know if they win 6 games, man. I might put them at
There's no
5.
way they're that bad.
I might put them at 5. I
Hmm.
might put them at 5. I think this is just one of those years. Like it's everything is just happening at once. You know, Sauce Gardner is going to be phenomenal for them. I think he's going to be
Yes, sir.
phenomenal. But of course, you can't put your whole team on your cornerback. You know, like that doesn't work.
Never
That
works.
doesn't work.
Never works.
So, you know, I think this could be one of those years that they just. I think 6 is probably like the ceiling. I don't see them winning too many games this year.
Thank you for correcting me, by the way. I think this is all signs that I'm an old piece of shit.
What?
I mean, I'm already bald, so that makes sense. But the 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 juice is temporary. The sauce is
The
forever,
sauce is
and I'll leave it at
forever.
that. So I called them juice.
Oh,
It's a
you said.
sad day in America, but you're right. It is sauce. I'm sorry. I'm an old
I
fuck,
didn't
and
hear
we'll move
that,
on.
man.
But just like that, on to my
Oh
team. Here
yes,
comes the delusions.
yes.
I'm leading this one as
Please,
well. I do
please.
not care. Huge off season for my Ravens.
Yes, sir.
Kyle Hamilton is the biggest one
Yeah.
here. I've got it circled. Really excited for his prospects. Re-signing Calais Campbell is also very big. I'm really excited about that. Got some big pieces on the line. Morgan Moses I have circled here. Mike Davis as a sneaky backup running back. I love, I love, love, love.
Yes.
Justin Houston. Re-signing these guys is very, very important. So hyped about that. Obviously, Kyle Fuller and Marcus Williams is the biggest names that are coming in, and I just love that once again we load up on the defense. The son that I said that we were gonna do with the draft, and we did,
Mm-hmm.
and we also did in free agency as well. So, love to see teams that know their identity and are following through on that. I wish we would have figured out something on the wide receiver end. I don't think the time is over just yet. Shout out to OBJ. Hopefully, we can make something work, baby.
Yes,
But
sir.
with that all being said, we did have some losses, I will admit. Obviously, a lot of our RB depth, Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray, Miles Boykin going to the Steelers, which you are dead to me. You don't do things like that at all.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown, we lost him in that trade, of course. I'm interested to see how his career goes because I actually am a fan. Sammy Watkins going to the Packers is also sneaky. Hit at our wide receiver depth chart, which is already looking pretty bleak. But I would say those are the biggest names right there. And just to get started, man, I'm pumped for this season because this season is going to be exactly what I thought last season was going to be.
Hmm.
Now, of course, there was so much injuries; it's overstated at this point. So much went wrong in a big way. So I'm convinced this season a little bit of luck has to go our way, right? We get a little bit of a bounce here. So I'm pumped for this season. This is, in my opinion, and I'm going to say it right now because there's two candidates for this. This is the most stacked division in the NFL,
Hmm.
and I will double down on that
Hmm.
because I think there's a real chance that the Steelers can still be a 10-win team in this division.
Hmm. Hmm.
So bite on that, ladies and gentlemen. But um, with that being said, man, murderers row, so it makes me a little nervous. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go 12-5. I'm locking it in, and I'm not gonna be too crazy. I'm not delusional,
Hmm.
but 12-5 is a good spot, and that's what I'm penciling in here.
Yeah, put me there as well. I think
Nice.
this is going to be a really good year for you guys. I think you have to get the Lamar Jackson signing taken care of, right? Like that's going to end up happening at some point. I don't see them letting him walk because if he ends up walking, bro, that's gonna suck. Oh, I got one for you. What if he ended up walking and went to the Steelers?
There's no way that happens, right? Like, there's no way. There's no way logistically that happens. But if it does, I think that'll be a big knife dig right there. I kind of would respect it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's a real fuck you move.
I would respect it too because it's like you had the chance. You know, you can't get too mad because I mean the money that Kyler Murray got.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, someone's gonna pay him.
Someone is.
You're 100%. You're making me
Yeah.
nervous. It's not gonna be the
It,
Steelers though. There's no way.
what if it was? What if
Man,
that did end up happening? You know,
like for me or like
who
in
like how
general.
would you
Like
guys
how
bounce
would that
back?
affect me?
Yeah, well, how would that affect you? But then how would the Ravens bounce back from that?
I mean, immediate emotional damage.
Yeah,
Like immediate.
yeah,
That's pain.
yeah.
That is true pain right there. Yeah. I shout out my guy Lewis. I won't hear the end of that like ever. That'll be the top. That'll be the okay. We'll move on because I'm getting sad just thinking about it. How can we move on from losing to Lamar Jackson? I'm going to be honest. We have a serviceable enough team that if we get a middle of the road quarterback, we'll still probably be close to a playoff team.
Joe Flacco.
But he is so. Yo, I love me some Flacco, but I only love me some Flacco after he left. Because I was a delusional Flacco fan. Don't get me wrong. I
I'm sure
was.
you
I
were.
was.
Yeah.
But now, no, the rose tinted glasses are off,
Yeah.
my friend. I only like him tangentially. When
Yeah.
he's somewhere else, that's my
Yeah.
guy. But when he's not, no, please miss me with that shit. But yeah, I could see us right with like, fuck it, right? We'll trade for Jimmy G,
Okay.
and we'll still be able to make the playoffs here. I'm convinced of that. We're gonna need to figure out some offensive pieces though,
Yeah.
because with Jimmy G and no wide receivers, it's gonna be a sad
Yeah.
day. But we'll figure something out. We won't be too bad. Like we won't be completely out of shape, but
Yeah.
it'll fucking
That would
suck.
hurt.
To be clear, it'll take away the Super Bowl window entirely, and I
Oh yeah,
feel like
yeah.
we have at least another 3 years of a wide open window, so long as we figure out this patchwork on the offensive
As
side.
long as you got Lamar Jackson, I think the window's a lot longer than that.
I don't know, man.
If
I
you
don't
if
know.
you keep the team the way they
Shout
are,
out to RG3, man. He's one of the best guys on the desk now today, but you don't have long careers when you play like Lamar Jackson does.
yeah, but you're talking about also the rules being different than when RG3 even played,
That's true.
right?
That's
So I
true.
think I think I think it's very possible that would extend it just a little bit longer. 5 years, 5, 6 years, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you be. You know, I gotta be modest on this show. You
Yeah.
know, gotta
I'm
rein it
trying to
in a
pump
little
you
because
up,
there's
bro.
already enough ballast. There's already enough bias. Okay. But thank you. I
Yes,
need it for
sir.
sure. Especially when we're discussing the rest of this division, because holy shit,
Yeah.
it is stacked. Cincinnati Bengals, obviously Super Bowl contenders, came this close, and honestly, I was rooting for them. Like,
Were
and
you?
if you weren't, I was. I talked a lot of shit,
Yeah.
but while the game was going on, I was like, man, like I kind of want them to figure it out. And then it didn't work out that way. Just because I'm someone that also hated the Miami Heat back in the day. It's kind of similar situations, you know. So yeah, when you buy these teams, I tend to hate you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
Bengals did it the right way, man, and they even doubled down and got even better this offseason, if you ask me. Picking up Hayden Hurst, obviously filling that
Yeah.
hole. Not the biggest, not a comparable signing, but you got to fill that hole somehow. Alex Kappa, big on the guard spot, and then Ted Karras, also big on that offensive line. Got to shore it up for Joe Burrow after everything he went through last season. Uh, re-signed Derrick's favorite cornerback, Eli Apple, and and yeah, just a bunch of re-signings besides that. As far as notable losses, obviously CJ Uzama,
Yeah.
and then Larry Ogunjobi, I think, was another big one who we're going to talk about in a few minutes here. Um, those are the most notable ones, I would say. What are your thoughts on this Bengals team? Do you think they can go back to the promised land once again, or was that just a premonition?
I put it like this: I don't know what to expect from them this year, but I don't. They're going to be in that conversation for Super Bowl for the next couple of years for sure. Like I don't think it's far fetched. Excuse me. I know there are a lot of people that have them automatically in the Super Bowl this year, this next season. I don't, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they were. I think they go like AFC Championship type thing, and that's when I think the Bills just take over, and then that's just it at that point. Um, I don't. They're gonna be here. They're gonna be around for a long time. This team is not going anywhere.
Mhm.
So I think as long as they're healthy, um, they're gonna go crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised. What was the record last year?
I'll pull it up for you right now. They were 10-7.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got 12 games, 11, 12 games this year.
Is that what you're penciling in? Because I think that's pretty brave.
I'll put me at 11. Put me at 11.
I
Yeah,
like that. I
put me at
like
11.
that. That's also exactly where I'm at. I think Ravens are going to win the division this year,
Hmm.
but Cincinnati ain't going
They're not.
anywhere, and honestly, they got better.
They did,
So
and Hayden Hurst is a sneaky. That's a sneaky move.
for sure, not the same guy as 2 years ago,
Yeah,
but for
yeah.
sure,
I mean,
for
but
sure.
that's Atlanta too. So
Hey, I love me some Atlanta offense players. I think they produce a lot more than you would think. To be
no,
fair,
they do, but they also don't. it's it's kind of
for
weird.
sure.
It's kind of they're good when they're really good. When they're good, they're really good.
Mhm.
When they're bad, it's the team is just trash. So
I
it's
agree.
hard to kind of like gauge. But Hayden Hurst, if you look at him, dude was phenomenal for what was happening in Atlanta. I put it like that.
Around him.
Yes,
Yep, for the wasteland
yes,
around him.
yes, yes,
Shout out to Kyle Pitts,
yes.
man. He's gonna have to deal with that
Whew,
now.
I feel so bad
But
for him.
interested. That's another fun team to talk
Yeah,
about actually, because I think they got some sneaky good players on that offensive side of the ball. But we'll move on to the Cleveland Browns. Believeland. This is another notoriously delusional franchise. I just got to say that off the top. But obviously they got Deshaun Watson. He's been suspended 6 games, but who knows? Everyone's appealing and hoping that it gets much longer than that.
hmm
So I'm interested to see where that goes. But obviously, Amari Cooper is a huge addition to this team as well. Also got Jakeem Grant, which is also another sneaky move there in the wide receiver spot. Tagged Njoku, which is great. I think he's a really good tight end in this
yeah,
league. And anything else here I'm missing? Oh yeah, Chase Winovich. Wanted to make sure I said that
hmm
correctly. It's always good to have some defensive Patriots players on your team. Got to bolster it however you
yeah.
can. And then, of course, Denzel Ward signed a monster
He did.
contract to play with them as well. So that's all exciting stuff. On the notable losses side of things, I mean, you lose the GOAT, catch a Case Keenum, RIP. Baker Mayfield gets traded to the Panthers. We're not crying about that. We're not crying. Um, Jarvis Landry to the Saints is a big one in my
Yeah.
opinion. But hey, you signed some depth in the meantime. And then pretty sure that's it for notable ones. I think MJ, I had MJ Stewart here as
Okay.
well, but they're not hurting too bad at the safety spot. So what it, man, this is a team that on paper, when things make sense, they're a good team.
Mhm.
But that's not the world we live in. How do you feel about this Browns team for this season?
For this season, they're gonna be they're not gonna be as good as people think. It's
Mhm.
again, it's this conference, man. Like this conference is just gonna eat them alive. Um, who's their backup QB right now?
That is a great question. I'll pull that up.
Because I
I think it's
Josh
Josh
oh
Rosen.
Jacoby Brissett.
Oh yes, Jacoby Brissett and Josh
Never
Rosen
mind.
are playing for that
If
spot.
Brissett wins that, which he should, I don't see how Rosen beats him out.
Yeah, unless he's been on the secret
Yeah.
sauce all season.
um, I think he could actually keep them afloat. 6 game streak,
Mhm.
6 game suspension. If Watson doesn't get more than that, they could easily go 4-2, 3-3, something like that.
Mhm. Got you.
Who knows? They're not winning the division. I
Yeah,
put it like that, but it'll
for
be
sure.
maybe. Would you say wild card?
That's a good. Could
Could
be.
be.
Could be. Considering this conference
It
is real
is.
tough.
It is. I don't know because I think every loss is going to count this year. Like I mean, of course they always do, but
Yeah.
every loss is going to really count. This is almost going to feel like it's a weighted type of thing. If you lose one game this year,
Dude,
um,
there's two
it's
two literal divisions that feels like every team should be in the playoffs.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think without the suspension, all pieces in place, they would have been crazy on paper, but in actuality, I don't know how they would have looked. I mean, but you got Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson with Amari Cooper. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
And you still got both of those RBs doing their damn thing
That
too. I
that
know
yeah,
Kareem Hunt was a little upset about not getting signed, which I don't blame
yeah,
him. Get your money wherever you could get it. I'm interested to see if they trade him too. That's another interesting piece that could potentially end up somewhere
yeah.
else. But I think with their balance and their defensive prowess, like this is a team that's you're gonna hate to play. But I don't think they're gonna be good this season just because of all the like if they make the playoffs this season, honestly, this would be way more impressive than if they would have made the playoffs
Yes,
last season. Because hands down, they are dealt with way more
yes.
shit in the lead up to this season. Yeah, it's just a lot of negative energy going into this season for this team. I'm gonna pencil them in. Last season, they went 8-9. I'm gonna pencil them in as I feel like I'm gonna get flamed if I do that. Fuck it, I don't care. 7-10.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking.
I'm gonna go 9-8.
I
I'm
like
gonna go
that.
9-8. I think that they could do something. I just don't know what.
Yep.
I don't
I
know
just don't know
what.
what. And it's so the range. We're back in Miami Dolphins
Yeah,
territory here. The range of
yeah.
possibilities. Yeah, I would have to say on base, even when you consider that Deshaun Watson is going to miss 6
Mhm,
games. I would say on base, Dolphins are better off, and the numbers
mhm,
agree with that.
mhm.
So yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. Derek Myers, check the chat, please. But we'll move on, just like
Oh,
that. Steelers, the final team in this AFC North. Their additions and subtractions are also very notable, man. Obviously, this QB spot is up for grabs. They signed, I mean, yeah, they signed Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year, $14 million deal, which I still do not understand. I do not understand, but you do what you got to
yeah.
do, right? Um, and then what are the other big ones here? Larry Ogunjobi is huge. Getting him from the Bengals, obviously, it's always good to sign someone coming off of a Super Bowl year. Um, Levi Wallace, sneaky cornerback signing. Re-signing, no, not re-signing, signing
Mm.
Miles Jack. Also another interesting spot there. Uh, Extended Minka Fitzpatrick, which is huge. And then who else did they sign? That's it. Notable wise, they drafted Kyle Pitts, obviously, which is just adding to that more crowded QB room. And then their losses, obviously, Big Ben, the rapist, is retired. So R.I.P. Rest in piss, good sir. Rest in piss, good sir. I hope to never see you again. And just like that, um, they also lost Juju to to the Chiefs, which not enough people are honestly talking
Yeah,
about. That's going to be
yeah.
exciting to consider because everyone talks about Sky, but everyone's sleeping on Juju. I don't know Juju plus Patty Mahomes with his steak and ketchup is going to be putting in
Oh
work,
yeah.
if you ask me. They also lost James Washington to the Cowboys, which is big. Eric Ebron, I don't know what happened to him, but he's no longer on the Steelers
Oh, he's not.
either. And then nope. And then the last one, guard Trey Turner going to the Commanders. Another sneaky little L that they had there, and Joe Hayden,
Yeah.
obviously, more of a legacy name though at this point as well. So what are your thoughts on this Steelers team and where they end up? Who starts week one? That's my first question.
Oh man, it's between Mason Rudolph and Mitchell Trubisky, right?
Yep.
I I feel so bad because this would have been Dwayne Haskins' team. This would have been his team.
Hmm.
That is there's
Yep.
nothing
I
there's
agree.
nothing to debate. This would have been his team for sure. Um, Definitely rest in peace to him. But that's why I also believe that there's going to end up being a shakeup, probably like by week 6. I think they're going to go get someone
Hmm.
else, bro. I don't think it really matters who starts week 1, because whoever starts week 1 will not be starting week 2 or 3, and who's ever starting week 2 or 3 is not going to be starting week 4. I think it's gonna end.
Oh man.
That's I wholeheartedly believe they're gonna go get Cam Newton. I'm at that point now where I think it makes more sense the more that I think about it. Cam, I mean, it was suck in terms of him having to learn a new offense and new terminology. But who else you got?
Yeah. That's the main question.
You're
Who
not
else you
trading
got?
for Jimmy G, right?
No.
Right? There's no
There's
way
no
that
way that
happens.
happens.
So I mean, you're not. I don't. I would not want to waste Najee Harris, right? I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to waste
Yep.
his talent. I mean, he's only a year 2, but I wouldn't. Go.
Well, RB's
It's
that
real
that
small.
window's real
It's real
small.
small.
So
So
yeah.
go get someone that could be a threat. Cam Newton should be really cheap right now.
I was about to say, dude, why are you not bringing up Kaepernick in this discussion? I'm a
Well, I
little
think
upset.
Kaepernick would make a lot of sense. Here's the thing: you went and got Brian Flores. I don't think you add the two. It's way too
There's
much
already
right
too
now.
much. There's already too much activism going. Oh man,
Yeah,
said
yeah. Oh,
pump
all
the
right,
brakes
all
on
right,
that.
all right,
Pump the
all
brakes.
right. I don't think you do it, but I mean, Kaepernick would make sense too.
I mean, if you do, you got to be
Oh
sponsored by the
no, 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 no!
NAACP,
NAACP
right?
is
Like
horrible. They're
immediately. Like,
trash. We need some new leadership, bro. Like, I need
yes, sir.
whatever the
Yes, sir.
LGBTQ plus community, whatever leadership they have. We need that organization in the Black community for sure. NAACP trash. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't want to be sponsored by them at all.
Wow.
Like, nah, we good over here. Yeah, go get Martin Luther King's family to sponsor you or something like that. Like leave NAACP alone. Yeah, you'll figure something
Figure
else
it
out.
out. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Shit. At this point, you might want to start Najee Harris at running back and just run
Bro, like
draws all year. Like, hey,
what?
you might be better off.
there is no legitimate threat at the QB position for them right now. That's why it hurts so bad. Like,
I mean, when you're hearing rumors that Mason Rudolph is cooking and is the clear QB1, it's like, well, then Kyle Pitts is. I mean, Kyle Pitts. What the fuck? Is that?
no.
What? That's not his name, right? What's his first name? I know his last name's Pitts,
Oh,
right?
who they drafted. I don't know that guy's name.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Kenny Pickett.
Kenny
There you
Pickett.
go.
Why the
There
fuck
you
am
go.
I calling him Kyle Pitts?
Well, you had the KMP.
Oh man, who is? That's not even a human.
The initials. You had the initials. So
You're right.
let's.
It's rare I come that close.
We
You're right. You're right. You're right. We take the wins where we get them. You know, we take the wins where we get them. Man, I think this is gonna surprise everyone, and I'm just gonna fucking say it. I'm just gonna say it. No matter how much people who are Steelers fans are gonna disagree with what I'm about to say, I am 100% going to say it. Now, this team had 9 wins and 7 losses last season, with the ghost of Big Ben's past at quarterback. Right? I think any of these guys is an upgrade over Big Ben. I will say that wholeheartedly. I do not care. I will 100% say that with my chest. Chase Claypool is gonna have a rejuvenation this season.
Yes,
I think, and I think this team is somehow going to be 10-7 this year. That's my crazy oh shit prediction. I'm going 10-7 for the
10-7 is not unrealistic if they go get another QB.
Even with the committee, bro.
Najee,
like,
look,
you have to
I think
be able to
Najee is going to ball. I think Claypool is going to ball. I think TJ Watt is going to ball out. I think their defense is actually going to be who they lean on this year. I don't think that Mason Rudolph is going to play well enough to just be the general out there. You know, like I don't think he's going to be able to just be a serviceable QB all season. I don't see that. And Trubisky, definitely not. Like, oh, you know who they should go get? Sure. Nick Foles. That's another guy.
Big Nick, baby.
Yes.
Why not
get him?
But don't get him. Don't get him early. Get him week 10. You know what I mean?
You gotta get him. You gotta get him close to the first half of the season, so he's able to learn the terminology. Not play. You play him.
Just have
later.
Have him there. You know. Let him breathe that new air. What is the stadium called now? Because it's not Heinz no more. Yeah. Heinz broke ass, couldn't afford another year, and now they named it after some fucking insurance company, which is like, I hope your whole team gets injured just based off of that.
Bruh.
Yeah, fuck the Steelers, man. Why did I give them respect? I should have put them at 9-8, but I didn't.
I'm if they stay as is, 8-9.
Really? You think they take a step down, even with
it's not just Big Ben though. You had Juju there. Juju and Claypool were playing well together. Now Juju's gone. I agree. You know, I think Claypool is still gonna get his, but it's gonna be a step back offensively for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just feel like if you could throw the ball further than 7 yards, there's gonna be some fun things going on. But hey, look, we'll see.
I know you're talking about the arm strength. I'm talking about like everything else. I don't think they're gonna process it that fast. I just don't think they're gonna be able to get it.
I think the defense is too good.
But the defense is gonna be out.
I think their defense alone wins them 8 games. Their defense
is going to be gassed, bro, because they're the ones that are going to be keeping them in the games, and then the offense is going to lose it for them. It sucks. It sucks because I really want.
Like, I know what it's like.
I really want to see Najee Harris, like, you know, I want to see him. I don't want to see him win it all because I want my Eagles to win it all, but I want to see him win it respectfully.
Hmm. For sure.
And same thing
For
for
sure.
Claypool.
I agree with that. How
Yeah,
could you hate on that? Yeah, for sure. Claypool, I think Claypool gets the most disrespect out of any of these young receivers that are given the limelight because I feel like when it comes to, I mean, he might be in for a
it's
breakout year
possible.
this season,
It's possible.
honestly, like real
Yeah,
real stuff. Just because of the fact that, I mean, in his rookie year, what I think he was tied
I
for
think
most
so.
touchdowns,
Yeah,
like that's huge.
and that's with Ben at the helm.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Exactly. So imagine having any other human being that
yeah,
breathes throw you the ball. So it's gonna be an interesting year. Um, I hope they go 5-12, but they're probably gonna be a sneaky playoff contender once again. So who knows? Who knows? I don't think they get in, but I think they'll
yeah.
be on that bubble.
I can see that,
It's gonna be a tough season, man. It's gonna
especially
be a
for the
tough
AFC.
season. But just like that, oh man, we're not even there yet, and we already got one of the
Yeah,
toughest divisions
yeah.
in the league out of the way. So really excited to go over the rest of these in the future. But that's all the
Yes,
time we
sir.
got today, baby. A little teaser, little something to wet the beak for everyone at home. Really excited
Yes,
for this
sir.
NFL season, and can't wait to discuss everything else next week. Is there anything else you want to say before
Yeah,
we
just
wrap
real
this
quick.
up?
If you guys have not been able to check it out, we are being sponsored by Champ Number One Boxers. So please go to the link in our bio on social media. Order you something. You got most comfortable boxers that you can wear for working out or just regular day wear for men and for women. So please go check them out. You can check the link in our bio. When you purchase from them, you are supporting two black-owned businesses. You're supporting us as well. So please check them out. Grab something for you. Grab something for the champ in your life. And that's it. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Go Ravens, baby. Make sure you follow the brand at OTS Media on all platforms. And then, oh, sorry, OTS Media on YouTube, OTS Media
Yes.
Co. on all
Yes.
platforms. Like
Yes.
a pro, you gotta make sure you
It's
don't
all good.
slip up here. You could also catch me on Twitter at Negrong MMA. I'm sad. 372.
372.
I wanted 69 for at least another 3 weeks. I needed that. But I appreciate you guys for joining the
Yeah.
team regardless. So thank you for all the support and love. I haven't even been posting a lot of stuff just with everything I have going on in my life. So the fact that my Twitter's still growing is a big testament to how much you
Yes,
guys
sir.
are fucking awesome. So thank you. A lot more coming on the horizon for the MMA archive. So look forward to that. And of course, always pumping out stuff here on
Yes, sir.
the Sideline Guys. So make sure that you check me out on Instagram as well, Chris Negron _ and Derrick. Tell them where
Yes,
they can
sir. You can
find you
follow
before
me
we get
at
out of
Derrick
here.
underscore OTS. That's DERRICK. Black way to spell it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And we'll leave it at that. Let's go Ravens, baby. And please remember, don't be like Big Ben. Thank you.
Or Deshaun Watson. Look at y'all next week.